Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Mina Pina. And yes, I have not made a video in a while, but something came over me and was like, I was actually scrolling on my phone trying to show someone else a video because they was asking about, locks. And I was like, well, I actually made a video about that. I would just share it to you rather than me, just go ahead and re-explain it again. But I saw, I think seeing where my locks were to where they are now is like something I would have never been able to piece together. Like, you really think that this head of hair then turned into this head of hair over here? Like, it you know what I'm saying? It would look as if I had on multiple wigs. You know what I'm saying? Like, because there's no way that this equals this, right? However, I just wanted to take some time to just kind of reflect on my lock journey and, talk about things that have changed and how I have grown and stuff like that. So this is just more so a chit chat. And of course, I'm going to be sharing pictures and videos of, to help bring up the comparisons and stuff. So without further ado, the first thing I can think of would be, or that I noticed the difference, was the thickness within my locks. Because right now, my locks, since they have evened out, and to be honest, I kind of forget how old they are. I want to say somewhere between three and 4 years, somewhere in there. But yeah, when I was going through my button stage, to see my locks be like, they felt like they was caterpillars. Not that I had an issue with it, because surely when I was in that button stage, I was rocking with it. I was like, gimme, gimme. It's giving juicy. It's giving, yeah, this is what we like, right? And then, like I said, as my locks leveled out, they didn't maintain the same thickness. So, they kind of unswelled. I don't know if that's a word, but I'm going to say it's a word. Unswelled, right? Decompressed in a way. And I think I don't know, like, it's just so mind blowing to me. Like, if I take a lock, for example, now, like I said, because right now all I have is my mirror light on. I don't have the my big light on. But like, if you look at this lock, for example, right? I don't know. Oh, there we go. There. Okay. Okay. If you look at the, dang, my hand is light. It just don't even look like it belongs to my hand. But anyways, how thick this lock is. But if I were to put up like a comparison for you to see how thick my locks were when I was in my button stage, yeah, no, it don't look like it's the same head of hair. It doesn't look like it's the same head of hair, and it was something that honestly shocked me. Like, that was me. That was me. So yeah, that was a change I noticed. And then also too, I did, you know, because I did dye my hair, right? So the first time I dyed it, it was the front. So I did like a little fringe thing going on in the front to kind of brighten up my face a little bit. And then afterwards, I also went over with this like cherry red color. Now, mind you, it was really bright on the box, but I didn't think that it was going to be that bright going on my dark hair, because I was like, unless I'm bleaching it, it ain't coming out this color. Like, I might get a little tint somewhere, which is what I'm going for. Like, I'm going for more of like a subtle difference. And then sure enough, I noticed like one day when I went on vacation with me and my friend, and we was out in the sun, and I was like, my hair is giving wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's looking, as a matter of fact, look, insert a picture somewhere right here of, what my hair was looking like when I went to the island. I went to Malta. So I was just like, this is nice. My hair is glistening and it's glowing, and um so yeah, looking at that. And then, oh, the other thing too that I changed was my hair routine.
As far as routines and things go, everything's pretty much the same. The only thing I switched up was I no longer use a clarifying shampoo. I only use a moisturizing shampoo because my hair doesn't get dirty enough for me to like actually use a clarifying shampoo. So I just use my regular one, and it cleans my hair well. I mean, I still spritz my hair. I still use my oils and stuff like that, but
So I do think that anybody having some sort of routine, whether it be for your hair, skincare, you going to the gym, like there needs to be a reason, right, to do certain things. Because once you start doing stuff and it's not working, then you're not really productive. So I look at hair the same way. So the routine that I had established for myself earlier was I was, interlocking, and I could get away with just using water and oil, right? That's it. That's all. Just a little spritz, put some oil in, call it a day. Whereas when I changed locations, right, and my hair got longer, I started to notice that my hair was, becoming a lot more drier and like more coursey feeling. Not to say there's anything wrong with coursey feeling, but it was feeling that way because it's dry, honey. Like it's as if I was grabbing a trash bag and just crinkling. Like that's how it felt. I said, this ain't right. My hair ain't ever felt like this because my hair ain't got no moisture in it. So I was, for a period of time, I was struggling trying to, find products to work in my hair because I was like, well, what I used to do used to work, but it's not working no more. So now I can find me a different routine. And sure enough, lo and behold, I found me some grease, right? I found me some grease, and that held me down. It held me down. And now I pre-recorded a video to demonstrate the process in which I go about applying grease to my scalp, but I'll just, not only just my scalp, but also to my hair too. I know a lot of people say stay away from grease, especially if you got locks. I say don't knock it till you try it. You know what I'm saying? Don't knock it till you try it. You gotta experiment and see what's, really out there working for you. But yeah, I won't speak too much on that because I do have another video that I want to elaborate more on, and as far as like grease and stuff. But yeah, it's just real simple. Like when I get done shampooing my hair, so I still shampoo, still condition my hair. It's just that when I'm done, instead of applying oil to my scalp, I just simply grab my grease, rub it on my fingertips, and just sprinkle it all throughout my scalp, and then also take, some, rub it on my hands, and then put it, all throughout my hair, and it works wonders. It's probably one of the best decisions I've never made for myself. So yeah, that was a change I made. And then also I switched from interlocking to palm rolling. Now, can you switch? Yeah, you can switch. Now, I wouldn't recommend that you go back and forth, like 1 month you palm roll, next month you interlock. No, but I think for me, like it definitely made a lot of sense to go ahead and palm roll back then, or not palm roll, interlock back then, especially since I was washing my hair maybe like once a week, sometimes a little bit more depending on what it is that I did throughout the week or whatever. But now, you know what I'm saying, as my hair has gotten longer, routines have changed for me, I'm able to hold off on washing my hair like probably once every 2 to 2.5 weeks. Go ahead and wash it. But yeah, to also just kind of like save on time, I was like, let's do the palm rolling. Let's do the palm rolling, because the longer my hair got, the longer it was taking me to get through the interlocking. And I was like, okay, well, I still need to, make sure my hair is maintained and stuff like that. And it turned out to be more work for me to do interlocking than to palm roll. So I was like, okay, yeah, we can surely make the switch. So that's what I did. I made a switch, and ever since then, I have not looked back. And I was like, okay, things change. Things change. Oh, as a matter of fact, earlier today, I trimmed some of the ends of my hair because like there were a couple like stragglies. My assumption, like this would be my educated guess as to why there was, just a couple like little stragglies in my hair. Since the hair naturally tapers, you know what I'm saying? Like the ends of my hair that locked, they kind of looked a little wispy. Whereas the rest of my lock, it was like super full. But it was just like for certain locks that had that like really tapered end, I was like, I'm not really feeling not really feeling that, so I just cut it off. Like, it just seemed like it was something that stemmed from just natural causes, as opposed to like, oh well, the reason why I had, you know, ends tapering off like that was because like when I know when some people do like the whole rope twist or whatever, and they might put the rubber bands on their locks a little bit too tight, so that could then cause them to, you know, have thinning ends or whatever. But nah, I wasn't even styling my hair like that. I wasn't even really doing too much, aside from just, you know, trying to keep up with my retwists about once a month, sometimes every two, depending. But yeah, I just thought it was just something of natural wear and tear. So I just went in my bathroom and was just snip, 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 snip. Called it a day. And it wasn't that much hair. Like I said, it was just a couple ends anyways. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm just really enjoying having locks. I think locks was, for me, was like one of the best decisions that I have ever made. And I would definitely recommend it for someone who wants to be a part of not just the aesthetic, but also like embracing the full experience. Because I tell you, I mean, when I look back at myself and I think like, dang, I really thought I was the bomb diggity, but when I look back at them photos, I said, I'm surprised. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm surprised I had that much confidence. And my hair was looking like I just rolled up out of bed. But again, it's all part of the process though. And, you know, trying to find new ways to come up with hairstyles or like new ways to accessorize. So for me, a heavy thing that came about was scarves, actually. I have 2 whole holders, because they're like the little, got it from IKEA, but they have like circles, right? Like 18 circles per hanger, and like you put your scarves or belts or headbands through it. I'm telling you, all my circles is filled up. All my circles is filled up with a whole bunch of hair accessories, whether it be scarves, headbands, you know, whether it be soft ones, hard ones, crochet ones. It don't matter. And that was just my niche that I found for myself that, you know, helped me at least still kind of feel like, you know, a girly. You know what I'm saying? It still kind of helped me feel girly, because at the time when I started off my locks, I didn't have no hair in the sides or the back of my head because I was trying to grow out and undercut. So we was very much so looking a little uneven.
Because you're not that cute. And your hair is uneven. You look dusty.
So we was looking a little uneven. So I was trying to find ways to bridge the gap between, you know, the layer underneath and the layer on top until the bottom part grew out. So yeah, for me, scarves and headbands was just a fun way to accessorize and like still feel girly. So for some people, it might be, you know, like learning more about makeup, or it could be, you know, maybe accessorizing more with jewelry. And I think everybody, you know, who is lacking confidence when, you know, deciding to grow out your locks and the ugly stage, as they call it, but I didn't really call it the ugly stage. I was like, well, this is just all a part of the process, so why is it ugly? I said, why is this part of the process ugly? This is what needs to happen in order for me to get to whatever it is that I'm trying to go. And I think it's crazy too, because the vision that I had in my head of like what potentially my locks was gonna look like once they start getting a little bit longer, ended up not looking like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I think since I was, you know, very much so enjoying the moment of each stage, like I wasn't necessarily focused on like what is the end result. Like, yeah, someone asked me like, oh, like what's your, you know, how do you imagine your locks to look? And I'm like, you know, I mean, I hope they're gonna be healthy and they're not falling out my head. You know what I'm saying? I wake up to, you know, strands just right next to me. But yeah, I think seeing like what my locks turned out to look like now is something that I never would have guessed. But the fact that it was a mystery on this journey, I think, is what makes me appreciate it more, because I didn't really know how my locks were going to end up or what they were going to look like, right? Now keep in mind, this isn't my first rodeo of having locks. Like, I had locks when I was maybe like 12, maybe like 12 to 14, something like that. Now those ones I didn't start myself. I went and got them started at a hair salon. And also too, I had maybe about like 70 locks, whereas now I have roughly like 130, 140, right? So almost kind of like double. But yeah, I think I don't know. I just think this one, since I'm more involved with the process of my locks, like, because I do my locks myself, you know, so I wash my hair myself, I style my hair myself. I take care of my hair myself. You know, it's a lot more meaningful and impactful to me because I did it. Whereas, you know, when I went to the salon, it was kind of like, okay, well, I'm not really feeling this no more. I want something else. I want to change. But yeah, so just some things to think about, you know, when you have locks. And no, I wish everybody a beautiful journey. This was another thing I wanted to touch on, was that understand that if you do get locks, it also comes with a territory of stereotypes. Like, you might find yourself running into some stereotypes that people have in regards to their own personal views about having locks. Now, do I think it's right for people to judge? No, but do I also understand that majority of people unconsciously will judge you based off of, you know, what you're wearing, based off of how you talk, how you walk, you know, what your hair is looking like. So I think for me, some of the things that I have heard, well, I'll just start off specifically with me. Some people thought that I was gay or bi, just strictly by me having locks. And I was like, well, I don't understand. How did we come up with this connection here? You know what I'm saying? Like, without ever saying a word to me, without ever, you know, it's just, oh, you must be gay or bi because you got locks. How does the math on that one? You know, how does that math? Because it's not clocking to me.
I'm not getting it. It's not clocking to you. It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business, is it?
So that was the thing that I got. Now, granted, that wasn't my entire experience. Neither was it, you know, most of the time people said that to me. It was just the things that I did hear about, you know, the few stragglers that was like, oh, well, you must have locks because you gay or you bi. I was like, no. I know there are also some other stereotypes that people have, which is like, oh, there's this association with, if you have locks, you're dirty or you're unclean. Some people have those views. Now, I haven't had no one say that to me, but I have heard some people's views about, you know, locks in general. Is like, oh, well, typically, you know, people who are like unkempt and unclean get locks. And I was like, how does that make sense?
Name one book.
Well, I'm talking about just name a book.
Just name any book.
Just name a book or something? Yeah. Any kind of book.
Any book literally to ever exist.
You're gonna be, I can't even get a wild guess. I really just don't know. I just can't.
How does that make sense? But okay. So yeah, just understand that, like, there's always gonna be somebody out there that's, you know, judging and making assumptions prior to, you know, asking you questions or even just having a conversation with you to be like, okay, like, what are your, you know, thoughts about this? Doing that. But yeah, like I said, I wouldn't change anything about my journey. I wouldn't have no complaints. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, this little this little walk down memory lane of what my loss was looking like. But yeah, hopefully I'll see you in the next one.